Hello, Insomniacs. It's Kurious Cyclopes.
And Steve.
And you better be fucking excited. Do you know why? If you can recall our review of Halloween 2, we were supposed to tell you in our next Halloween review who is the winner of the amazing, incredible copy of Halloween 2 on DVD. We were, when we first started, because Halloween 2 was a while ago at this point, but
Yeah.
we were so excited to have people enter our contest, and boy, our first one went pretty well, and our second one, it went even better. You guys made it real easy for us because two people entered the contest from our Halloween 2 review. One of them was Colin, who already won the first one, so you cannot win, Colin. So naturally, it goes to our other contestant, Lester Garcia. Thank you so much, and it's convenient because you actually live kind of close by, so I don't have to worry about shipping this to you. So you know what, Lester? If you even still watch this show, you better come to my damn house and pick up your copy of Halloween 2 on DVD. Congratulations, Lester. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you to all for entering our contest. And we probably aren't going to be doing contests again for a while. Until we could justify it.
I think we got a little ahead of ourselves. That's
we
all.
We did. We got really ahead of ourselves.
We were excited. We were like, people are going to love it.
Yeah, we're going to do contests. We're going to get like 20 people to enter. Well, anyway. We'll have to revisit contests in the future. Maybe do that more for our local viewers.
Right.
Because, I guess that would make more sense. Maybe then people will actually enter.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Maybe they're intimidated, like, so many people are going to enter, there's no way I'm going to win, so I'm not going to. And that's why we had two.
Right. That's what we can tell ourselves to feel better about it, at least.
Yep. So there you go, Lester. You won Halloween 2. Good job, man. I knew you could do it. I guess we're going to just do another one of these because he loves it so much more. Yo, Myers Fanatic, Myers Fan 25. Hey, we're talking about Halloween. What you going to do now?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like the most low key hype man of all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Minimalism is the new thing, though. So.
What he said. Yeah.
But so we are here to talk about Halloween 3. Obviously, it was never the most highly acclaimed when it came out, and then over years it slowly gained a cult following for people that really like it. But obviously, there's still a lot of people that don't like it, including Steve. So it'll be interesting. So yeah, let's discuss Halloween 3.
Yeah.
So we'll do our usual format. When did you first see it?
I first saw it back when I was real young. I think they played it on either Sci-Fi or Cinemax, something. That's most of how I saw these movies.
Skinemax?
Yeah. But yeah, I think I saw it when I was younger, and I didn't understand that it being a Halloween movie didn't mean that it wasn't gonna have Michael Myers in it. So I was young and saw it. I was super bummed out, and I was just like, "Fuck that movie!"
Yeah, I think even when I was a kid, I don't know how the hell I knew, but I think someone told me. It might even been my mom that Michael Myers isn't in it.
Right.
So even as a kid, I never right away I thought it was stupid. I was like, "Well, that's stupid. It shouldn't have the title." And a lot of people are still saying that today.
Right.
But then eventually, in my early teens, I probably finally gave it a go, and I thought it was a fun Halloween movie. And I mean Halloween the holiday, not Halloween the franchise.
It definitely, I know that I said that I don't like it because I don't like it, but it definitely does have some redeemable qualities. It's not an unwatchable piece of trash.
And some really out there shit too.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll give a brief review. So in the beginning, there's this shop owner who's just going they're trying to kill us, this and that, and he's grasping this Halloween mask that I guess that was made by a company called Silver Shamrock. This guy ends up going to the hospital, and eventually this man in a suit comes up, puts his fingers right here where his eyes are, and pretty much rips the whole forehead bone, whatever that is, around your nose. And dude, that was a fucking brutal scene.
Right.
Well, it turns out this guy in his suit is he's an android, and there's a bunch of androids going around, apparently trying to silence people who are trying to expose the Silver Shamrock company. Why are people trying to expose them? Well, we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
So After the guy gets murdered by the android in his hospital bed, obviously the daughter of the guy is upset, so she teams up with one of the doctors, I guess, at the hospital
Yeah,
who was
it
taking
like
care of him.
you see the doctor guy is like drinking at a bar,
Hmm.
which is where you get the little like throwaway commercial for the original Halloween
Yeah.
movie. And she comes and is talking to him, and I don't know why he turns like private detective or
I
whatever with
know,
her,
yeah.
but like yeah, he goes with her and decides like, oh, we're gonna go to your
Yeah.
dad's shop and figure out like why this happened.
Yeah, and like, what was he talking about? Like,
Yeah. So they like go to check out his like logbooks or whatever, and they see that like after some date that like he went to go visit the Silver Shamrock factory, that like that's when all this bad shit started happening to him.
hmm
So they're like, oh, we gotta check out Silver Shamrock.
yep. And from that on, they worked their way over to the motel. Then from that point, or
Yeah, that's when they drive
yeah,
into town, and you get to hear as they're pulling into town the that little like loudspeaker voice that's like, just so everyone knows, the town curfew is 6 p.m. Blah blah blah, or
yeah.
like whatever they say. That's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, that's her voice.
Wow,
Yep.
that's so interesting.
Yeah, right.
I don't think a lot of people know that because I never heard that before.
There were like a couple little nods because you got like her voice for that, the obvious like trailers for the original Halloween, and in the early scene where the like alcoholic doctor dude comes home to his kids and he's like, "Look, I got you Halloween masks or whatever," and they're like, "Mom already got
Yeah,
us
sure, he
one."
got his killer ones.
Yeah, his wife is the girl who played Annie in the original Halloween
What
movie.
the
Yeah,
fuck? That's okay. This is really cool. Really,
yeah,
really
dude.
cool. Makes it a hell of a lot cooler.
Yeah. So it was nice to see that they tried to layer some stuff like that in already.
Yeah,
But like
that's
that scene where he's with his kids and ex-wife or whatever was like the beginning of the end for me because it was the first time that you heard that fucking "Hey Morty, still Halloween, Halloween," and it's the most annoying song that you won't be able to get out of your head.
yeah, dude. That was stuck in my head for a
Oh,
long time.
I looked it up, dude.
Even this year.
They play that song 14 times in that movie.
Oh my god.
Ridiculous.
They sure got their money's worth out of recording
No
that little
kidding.
jingle.
Well, and they said that the reason why they picked it was because it's essentially London Bridges,
Yeah.
and that song is public domain, so they didn't have to pay anything to.
I guess that's smart.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
so they somehow came up with the world's most annoying song.
Yeah. People are like, "Oh, I love hearing that every
Oh
Halloween." I'm
god.
like, dude, it gets in your fucking head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it literally never leaves. All right, so I guess they wander off to the motel,
Yep.
and it turns out that a bunch of the local shop owners, because obviously a lot of shop owners they're making a lot of money off these masks.
Right, and that's where they even see when they check the list of people who stayed at the hotel that her dad's name was like on the list or whatever, so he had just been there recently too.
Yeah, and it's crazy because once you get to the motel, it has one of the craziest fucking death scenes you see in the whole movie. It's fucking wicked.
Yeah.
Now, what was exactly going on? I know one of the shop owners was finicking around.
Yeah,
With,
well, it starts out, which was super weird, that this like doctor dude who's not an attractive looking dude, like objectively,
yeah.
is like hooking up with this way younger, way more attractive girl. So that's creepy. And then they go like into the other room, and the lady next to them is kind of like fucking around with. I think it's like the chip that goes in like the silver shamrock
Yeah, I think
mask.
she has a bobby pin. And
Yeah,
I guess trying to.
she's like, yeah,
what is this?
poking around at it and stuff until she lasers her goddamn face off.
Yeah, dude, it fucking stunned me. It still is brutal to look at because pretty much her whole face, like this whole portion, the lower half of her face, it's demolished. Dude.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty much like a gaping bloody hole. And dude, that was fucked up. It still is. Like even when I just watched it, because I watched it a couple weeks ago.
right.
I was like, damn, that never get. You'll always pretty much forget how nasty that scene does look.
Yeah,
But I love that. And I guess shortly after that, you get to meet the Cuffers, right? They got the little boy riding around on the bike. Because
right.
Buddy Cuffer, he's actually one of the shop owners, and they're talking about like, oh man, we're making a killing off of these masks. And I think even at one point, didn't they say there was like blockage on the shipment of the mask.
Well,
It's like, wait, he's like, I need more. What the fuck?
I
Like,
think that's one of the things that tips them off that something weird is going on, because
oh,
these
cause they.
masks are so hugely popular, but they're not taking any orders for like the next year or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that definitely is suspicious. Yeah, I guess eventually it's Buddy Cuffer, his wife, and their son. You know, they're there for some kind of demonstration, I guess. But then I guess he reveals like, oh, you know, I guess he told them really what was going on with the mask.
Right.
He's like, here, let's do a demonstration. So, you know, the little buddy, I guess that's what they call him. He puts on the mask, and you know they're in the factory in a little testing room with the commercial going on. All of a sudden, the boy's grabbing his head, and like he just collapses, and then from the ground you see fucking like insects and like snakes just coming out.
Yeah.
So apparently, at this point, you find out that when people put these masks on and the commercial triggers the Stonehenge microchip, it apparently like crushes your head and insects and like snakes just pour out of
Which,
it.
like, so wouldn't you
So
think it would
random.
just be like a normal, like, oh yeah, it's just gonna blow your head up? But I guess it was because it was more to do with the like warlock like
Well, yeah, there was.
thing.
I think the biggest inspiration was Celtic magic,
Right.
like Celtic folklore, which is why Stonehenge was such a big part of it. And I'm sure the snakes and insects must be.
Which,
So,
like, I forget about the Stonehenge thing so much, and then, like, anytime I rewatch this movie, that first, like, throwaway scene at the gas station with the main doctor character or
oh
whatever,
yeah.
where it's on the news that, like, a piece of Stonehenge was stolen, I'm just like, why the fuck is that in this movie? And then all of a sudden, you find out about an hour later.
Oh yeah, like this sick cult that makes masks
Yeah.
is using pieces of Stonehenge to rig these masks to kill your kids.
So weird.
But yeah, obviously the idea is these masks are so popular, every kid is gonna get one, and then you know they're telling the kids, make sure you get your silver shamrock mask and watch the TV at this time on this day
Yeah.
for like the special program.
Yeah, I think
and then
it was
that's
like
when it kills them.
9 o'clock on Halloween night or
Yeah, that's
something,
what it
because they
was.
were doing like the horror marathon, and it was going to be right after Halloween.
Yeah, and their big plan, you know, was for all the kids to die. So now back to the doctor and damn, what's her name? The
I think her name was Ellie. Was
oh
that the girl?
yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, once they get to the factory, uh, pretty much Ellie, I believe she just gets kidnapped, and the doctor eventually like
Don't they lock him up? Don't they like force him to watch the commercial with like a mask on?
yeah, I know he somehow got, I think it was like a box of, was it a box of microchips that they were putting into the
Something,
mask?
yeah.
But all I know is the way that he escaped was eventually he grabbed a hold of these microchips, because I can't even remember how the fuck he got out of his cell or whatever.
Right.
But trust me, it's a really mind-boggling movie. But all I know is he chucks these damn microchips like all over the ground while he's playing their commercial, and obviously the microchips are like blowing up, going at haywire, and the androids are getting all fucked up. And then I guess that sliver of Stonehenge shoots a beam out and kills.
The
Call-
Connell Cochran.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm never gonna know it. Calling her cock block.
The leader of Silver Shamrock.
Calling her, yeah. Calling her cock block.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck his name is. But oh, so then you know, I guess that kills him.
Yeah.
And it kills the androids, and after they escape, after he escapes with Ellie, it turns out, oh, this isn't the real Ellie. It's like an android. So then he
Right.
has to like kill her. You know, it's a really wild movie. It kind of jumps around all over the place from like
Yeah.
Celtic magic folklore to like androids running around on Halloween to like, it's just a lot of craziness. And besides the fact that it's not a Michael Myers movie, a lot of people just don't like the plot because it's so
Yeah.
like, obviously for me, I'm even having a hard time recalling something because it can
Right.
be hard to follow sometimes.
And that's my real problem with the movie is there's scenes that are cool, like the things that we're talking about with like she like lasers her face off and this cool thing happens.
Yeah, the
but like
scenes, yeah.
but the plot overall is fucking stupid, dude.
Dude, even obviously it's probably my least watched Halloween movie, but even when I rewatched it, you know, several weeks ago, there would be points where like after something happened, I'm like, wait a minute, how did we get to this point?
Right?
I'm not even kidding. There was some times where I had to rewind it because I just get so stupefied by it because it's such a crazy movie.
They're bringing you along for that ride, just like making you feel a little dumber.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think we're missing too much, but
No, you got like basically right to the end, just the ambiguous ending.
yeah. So why don't you tell me what happens at the ending? The ending is my favorite, but what's the general?
So it's like once he kills this android Ellie or whatever, he pulls off, I think, at like a gas station or something to try and like use the phone to call these like TV companies and be like, "Hey, don't air that fucking commercial. Like, don't show it."
And obviously they're like, what? Why? Why? It's like just fucking don't do it. Like
Right,
there's lives in danger because he had to do it quick. There wasn't much time left.
right. And I think he convinces like one or two of them, right?
I think Channel One, they decide not to air it. Channel Two decides not to air it, and then when he's talking to Channel Three, it's like too late at that
Yeah,
point.
they're like not buying his bullshit and
Yeah,
like yeah,
and I think right when he's on the phone, he's like, "No, listen." You start to hear the, do 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 do, like,
yeah,
and then he just is like, "No," and then it's over. So you're pretty much thinking like, okay, a lot of kids just got killed
right.
at that very moment where it ends. And
Well, I read a thing saying that originally the sound at the end of the movie over the credits wasn't supposed to be his screaming of like "please stop it" or whatever. It was supposed to be screaming children. So it's supposed to be
oh,
like a bunch of kids who like had just been dying.
that's fucking
But
crazy.
they decided that that was a little too dark and kind of reeled it back in a little bit.
Dude, what's so crazy? Like the mission of these of Silver Shamrock, it's so fucking dark for such a goofy movie.
Right.
Like I don't. I think more people would be able to take it seriously if there wasn't androids running around. I mean, I love it, but it's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
isn't Silver Shamrock being an occult enough?
Right, and they try and explain it, doing the whole like, oh yeah, it's it goes back to like Celtic ritual of like sacrificing kids for Samhain or
Yeah,
whatever, and like, but that still doesn't make it make any sense. Like
yeah.
you're still sitting there going, why?
Well, his whole thing, colonel cockblock. I just remember him saying like, "Oh, we want to bring back like the age of like witchcraft and like sacrificing kids." I was like, so how is this gonna convince everyone to like pick up like black magic? And shit?
Right?
Like, who knows what was in his head?
Yeah,
I mean, it would make more sense to just be like, oh, I just want to kill a bunch of kids. Like, okay, well,
yeah,
it seems like you'll be successful. But yeah, I don't know how that would usher in the new dark ages of like
right.
of going back to like riding brooms and shit. I don't fucking know. Like I said, it's a really goofy movie. I think John Carpenter wasn't he kind of proud of it?
I think so.
Well, I mean, he produced it.
Well, yeah, because when they killed Michael at the end of Halloween 2, he saw that as an ending, so that's why he had said in interviews and stuff that he didn't foresee ever doing another Myers movie, but he wanted to continue making like an anthology series about like all different movies based around the holiday of Halloween itself. And that's how this started until it wasn't received well,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Fucking bring Michael back."
Yeah. But oh man, out of sequels in general, that's probably one of the most bizarre sequels.
Oh yeah,
Especially even for a horror film, and that's weird saying, oh, it was a bizarre sequel, but no, it's fucking weird even for Halloween.
it changed so much too. Like it wasn't even a slasher movie anymore. It became like a witchcraft movie almost. Like
Yeah, and I like that kind of stuff, but when it comes to this movie, I like it, but something I enjoy more than the film itself is the speculation and the talking about it. And what I mean by that is, you know how some people they like to try to force the sequels together, even though
yeah,
they aren't on the same timeline and they're not canon to each other. People are saying, well, what happens if Silver Shamrock was a branch of the Cult of Thorn? You know what I mean?
right.
And they're saying, oh, it can make sense because of this and this and that and that. And I was like, okay, it's fun to think about.
Yeah,
But the movie itself, like, I like it, but it's not. It's definitely my least watched sequel.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not even really a sequel. It's like a standalone movie.
yep,
For me, it's more of just stupid fun around Halloween time. It's not a movie I watch all the time. If I'm like, oh, I want to watch a really good horror film, I don't put on Halloween 3
Yeah.
Seasons of Wish.
I mean, it's definitely fun if you can find like a friend or someone who somehow doesn't know what it is or
Yeah.
hasn't seen it to be like, oh, let's watch this and like play a drinking game of like every time it's dumb or whatever, like some stupid shit like that. But it's not something you're gonna watch like all the time.
And as you were able to tell from my memory of the movie, it's something I just throw on around Halloween just to have stupid fun and just like
Right.
kick back, drink a couple beers, not really like pay attention. Like, oh my god, like the plot and the characters' names. Like, oh fuck.
Dude, the sad part is like I just was rewatching it like last night.
Yeah, literally last night.
Granted, it was like 1 in the morning because it was after the like UFC pay per view yesterday, but I put it on and watched like almost the whole thing before I fell asleep, and still it's so
It's
hazy
still
because
fuzzy.
it just like melts it out of your brain right
Yeah,
away.
like even the transitions from scene to scene, sometimes like, wait a minute, how the hell did we get from here to here?
Right.
But I'll tell you what I love about it. I love the fucking brutal, violent effects. The face getting ripped open, the guy's bone getting pulled out from
Yeah.
his face, and obviously the snakes and bugs is really silly, but you know it's cool and creepy and dirty.
Right.
But yeah, I mean it's something fun to watch around Halloween. But obviously we had to get Season of the Witch out of the way just so we can move on to the actual sequels.
Right.
But we couldn't skip 3.
Oh no.
Yeah, so.
And even though I say that I don't like this movie, I would still suggest that people watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because so many people do enjoy it. Like, you never know, you might love it.
And still to this day, we still have people that are divided. Some people still hate it. And not just young people, old people. Some of them
Right.
still hate it. Some people still like it. You know, it's not something really people get crazy up in arms about. It's like, oh, if you don't like it, I understand why. If you do like it, yeah, it's a fun.
Right,
silly
exactly.
movie. But yeah.
Well, for you, this movie has to have some sort of like personal attachment too, because you had an interesting story to go with it, right?
Yes. Thank you for this. So, you know, a lot of people, they like Buddy Cupfer, the shop owner, you know, the one whose son gets killed. But something that's fucking crazy is my mom actually babysat for Buddy Cupfer was played by Ralph Straight. My mom babysat for Ralph Straight because they were from New Jersey, and she babysat his daughter for several years. And I'm talking about like key moments of her life, like so from when Ralph Straight's daughter was like maybe like 4 to 9 or 4 to 10. My mom babysat her for several years, so she knew Ralph very very well.
Wow.
And obviously Ralph Straight, he passed away a long time ago at this point. And when my mom told me that, like, originally my mom was like, oh, yeah, I babysat for a cop in Halloween. So I never thought it was a big deal. I was like, oh, my mom babysat for an extra from the movie
Right.
Halloween. Like, thinking it was just a background cop. And then when I asked her about it again for the show, she's like, oh, no, this guy from Halloween 3. And she sent me a picture. I was like, my mom babysat for Buddy Cupfer, dude. Like, because he was one of the favorite characters of that movie. And
Right.
it's just so awesome. I was like, you know what? He passed away, but how cool would it be if we could use the power of the internet to reach out and to find his daughter?
Right.
Because, first of all, if his daughter is a horror fan, it would be cool just to have her on here.
Oh yeah.
And secondly, I want to ask her, what are your memories as a child from your dad being in Halloween 3?
Right.
Like, do you remember any of it? But, because I'm not sure exactly what her age would have been during the movie being made.
Right.
But it's just so interesting that I have that loose connection to the film with my mom. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, it's fun. So internet, if I couldn't figure this out with Googling, I couldn't find shit. But if you know where Ralph Straight's daughter is, please let us know. I think last I heard she was in New York City, but I'm not entirely sure. But I just want to reach out to her and see if she would be interested in being on the show. Because why not? Like,
yeah. Right.
having a little personal touch in there, a little connection to a franchise is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But guys, share with us your thoughts about Halloween 3. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Just what are your thoughts? And what do you think about the Stonehenge Celtic crap? Because it's really goofy. Well, yeah, I guess that'll be it. So, Kurious Cyclops,
And Steve.
thank you for watching Never Sleep Again TV.
Thanks, guys.